Hi, so we're here at SMEG headquarters to learn more about the Pavoni Diamantina, which is one of the company's most premium coffee machines.
It's actually the consumer version of a commercial model sold by Pavoni called the Diamante. But this one here is among the most glamorous machines you can get. We're going to be speaking to the Pavoni team today, as well as a professional barista, to learn more about the machine and how to get the best coffee possible out of it. Let's drink some coffee. Lucy,
hello.
Thanks so much for joining us today. So we want to learn a little bit more about this machine and sort of what its legacy is. So could you tell me a little bit about what makes the Diamantina so special?
Okay, well this is it's a new Diamantina. This is the first single group that we've brought out in this style. It's actually based on a design that first came out in 1956. So Pavoni ran a competition, which in Italian is Concorso, and that was run by a designer called Bruno Munari and Enzo Mari. They applied for this competition. The competition was to design a new coffee machine, and it was open to all Italian architects, graphic designers, and they won this competition with the machine that we call the Diamante. It's a big coffee machine for bars, and it's the first one that had kind of lots of these like geometrical diamond shaped pieces that all fit together. It allowed the factory to mass produce coffee machines in different sizes for the first time, so 2 group and 3 group. And this is designed then the Diamantina, which is a small diamond, is one that's based on that heritage. So they wanted to bring back something from the past that is relevant for the future.
Amazing, and it's beautiful looking as well.
It's very glamorous.
What are the main differences between this and the original version from the 1950s? Obviously coffee tech's come a long way since then.
Coffee tech's come a long way since then, but kind of the design and the look, there's not much that's changed in the way the pieces fit together, but it's kind of things like the size of the legs, the size of the cup space that you need is different in that way. Also in the past they were all kind of different colours. We've done red, blue, gold. This is just gold and silver, so we're concentrating on that. Then things like the LEDs are all white now. We never used to have LEDs in the past. And then in the past, of course, they also used to have the big lever machines as well. So quite a few differences.
Amazing. So I guess the final question is, from your perspective, like, who is this for? What's the main sort of audience for a machine that is a bit on the pricier side but has this legacy behind it, has some of the tech that's in it?
You would need to love coffee to want this machine. You would need to love coffee to want to invest in this machine. You need to have a great kitchen, a lot of space, and be appreciative of art and design and history.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Well, we've heard all about the machine. Let's see what the results are like.
Here with barista Benji, who's going to explain a little bit more about how the Diamantina works. So thanks very much, Benji.
No worries, good to be here. This is the ultimate espresso machine for the money no object brief, because it has the capability of tailoring all parts of espresso. For example, you can control temperature, flow, and volume, which is the 3 main things that we do to create the best possible tasting espresso. It's a dual boiler machine, which is good because it means you have a separate boiler for steam only. With single boiler machines, as you start making more and more coffees, that water will drop quickly and you'll have less steam to be able to steam milk. It just means you have to spend more time waiting for it to heat up, and this means that you can make a lot of coffees quite quickly, assuming that you have a lot of people that want coffee in the house. So that's a very important part, but it's also important for consistency. When we talk about making espresso as baristas, we aim for consistency pretty much across the board. Not only having a dedicated boiler for the coffee, keeping that same temperature, that same pressure, we have a full rotary pump, which pushes either 9 bars of direct pressure through the coffee puck the entire time, which means that every single shot we're getting that same pressure. Now, as we get super nerdy into it, the Diamantina also has flow control. So if I chose 9 bars of pressure, which most people would for normal coffee, we can really alter the flow of the water going through it to either reduce the amount of pressure on the coffee puck at the start and at the end to tailor the flavor of the espresso how we want.
What kind of effect does that have, changing the pressure?
Good question, I'm glad you asked. So at the start, what we usually do with coffee is we pre-infuse it. So instead of rocking the puck with 9 bars of straight pressure, which lots of machines kind of start with, we can start at a lower pressure, which saturates the coffee. So it allows water to pass through it more evenly, more easily. That kind of thing is, as long as we're doing a similar kind of thing shot to shot, is really effective. Like I said, with flow control, it means that there's a bit more variation. As we get really into it towards the end of an espresso, you can reduce the pressure a little bit, because as coffee's been extracted from a coffee puck, it will then start to strain on the coffee that's left in there, because it's obviously ending up in the resulting espresso. So we can bring the flow down a little bit so that we reduce that pressure on the coffee puck, and then we can take off some of the edge, some of that bitterness that's at the end.
So are there any other features on this particular model that you wouldn't find on a smaller La Pavoni coffee machine?
Yeah, so as this was sort of the competition winning machine, it does pay homage to the old sort of lever style espresso machines. So it has this gauge on the top where you can see the pressure as it moves. So as we change the flow control here, we can watch it move as it goes along with the bar pressure on the dial here, which I think is a nice little feature to help you tailor espresso, but is also the kind of thing that you don't get on the lower end of the range.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Should we make some coffee?
Sounds great.
Let's do it. So I've got some fresh ground coffee here, specialty coffee, of course. Just gonna make sure that's perfectly level, perfectly temped. So we want to make sure that we gently insert it into the machine so that we don't crack the puck as well. So we get a good even extraction. I'm gonna set to the base level of mechanical pre-infusion for a second, and then all the way on like so. This here is how we control the pressure profiling system. So at the moment, as you can see on the top, we're sitting at 8 bar, and we're gonna hold it there until we get to about 2/3 of the way. And then I'm gonna slowly bring it down just a little bit. As we extract throughout the coffee, we wanna bring down the pressure until we finish the shot. There we go. Because as the coffee's been extracted, it's landing in that espresso. So there's less need to have a high volume of pressure going through the coffee puck. So I'm bringing down the pressure slightly so that hopefully we end up with a more well-rounded espresso.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That is hotter than the sun.
Delicious.
Delicious, yes.
Kat, what did you think of the Diamantina that we saw today?
It's an incredible machine, but I don't think that I could do it justice without having a few lessons with Benji first.
Absolutely, it's a pretty comprehensive thing, really for the coffee enthusiasts out there. But if you were at that skill level, do you think you could justify 5,000, I think it is, for this one?
I think I'd have to find a bit more money than that because I need a new, bigger kitchen as well.
Well, it's an awesome machine, and if you are really into your coffee, this is one of the best devices you can buy. If you think you would see yourself with a Diamantina in your kitchen, let us know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and check out techradar.com for all the latest tech news and lots of great coffee tips.